Hello, everybody. Happy Friday to you. I'm coming to you again with another opportunity to read a wonderful story to you all. And this is kind of a serious story, and it's a different kind of book than the ones I've read before. The story I'm going to read today is actually a biography. And a biography is a story about a real person's life. So this story is called My Name is Georgia. And it's about an artist, a very famous artist named Georgia O'Keeffe. And it's written by Jeanette Winter. Jeanette Winter is an award-winning children's author, and she writes biographies, and this is one of them. Georgia lived a long time. Georgia O'Keeffe lived to the age of 98. And she loved to paint, she loved to draw, she loved to make art. She was a very creative person her whole life. And this is a story about her life. So all of you creative, artistic people out there, this story might resonate with you. It's in our library here at Prince of Peace. So if you like this, you can come and check it out. And maybe we'll get more books by Jeanette Winter, okay? So let's start our biography today. It's called My Name is Georgia by Jeanette Winter. The first page. Georgia O'Keeffe was born on a farm in Wisconsin in 1887. When I was 12 years old, I knew what I wanted, to be an artist. I've always known what I wanted. When I was small, I played alone for hours and hours and hours. I was satisfied to be all by myself. I did things other people don't do. When my sisters wore sashes, I didn't. When my sisters wore stockings, I wore none. And when my sisters wore braids, I let my black hair fly. I rode to town every Saturday to copy pictures from the stack in the art teacher's cupboard. At home, I looked out my window and I drew pictures of what I saw. Maybe I could make something beautiful. At a school in Chicago, I drew from statues in the museum. At a school in New York, I painted one still life painting a day, every day. At school, I painted my teachers' ideas. But when school days were over, I went out into the wide world to discover my own ideas. I went to the Texas plains, the wild west of my childhood books. You have never seen sky. It is wonderful. I walked into the sunset. I felt the wind across the plains. And I painted the sunset and the sky and the wonderful loneliness and emptiness of the place. I painted day and night. I worked till my head all felt light at the top. I have things in my head that are not like what anyone else has taught me, shapes and ideas. But I bundled up my paintings and went to New York City to be where other artists live. I walked down in the canyons of steel. I lived high up in the clouds, and I painted what I saw from my window. But sometimes what I saw from my window was the far away calling me. I painted a garden in the city. I wanted everyone to see flowers the way I saw them. I looked closely at the flowers. I painted a camellia. I painted it big so people would notice. I painted a jack in the pulpit. I painted it big so people would see. I painted poppies and petunias and sunflowers and jimson weeds and irises and apple blossoms. My garden bloomed until everyone saw the flowers the way I saw them. But still, I looked to the sky. The distance had always been calling me. I went to the New Mexico desert, so far away that no one ever comes. I was satisfied to be all by myself. It was too dry for the flowers to grow, but there were bones. I gathered the bones, big bones, little bones, short bones, long bones, a cow's skull, a horse's skull, a ram's skull, and brought the bones home to paint. One day I held up against the sky and I saw the blue through that hole. I painted what I saw. I saw the sky and the red hills. I walked in the hills at daybreak and twilight, at noon and in starlight. I painted the arms of two red hills reaching out to the sky and holding it. I painted a pedernal mountain in the far away. I painted it over and over and over again, and then again and again. God told me if I painted that mountain enough, he'd give it to me. I drove my Model A across the desert and back and up and down over the hills. A Model A is a really old type of car. Ask your mom and dad or your grandparents about that. I painted my studio on wheels until afternoon bees chased me home. Even in winter, I went out into the far away and painted the bitter cold. I painted when the wind was so strong it nearly blew me away. I did things other people don't do. I climbed my ladder to the night sky to wait for the sun. I slept under the stars to see the morning sky when I woke up. I stayed in the desert. My hair turned from black to gray, to white as the bones. I still walked the red hills. My pile of bones grew, my flowers bloomed in the desert, and the pedernal was mine. And the sky, oh, it was wonderful. I painted the sky one more time. I painted my sky big, so people would see the sky the way I did. I worked from dawn to dusk every day for weeks and months. Then as I painted the last cloud, the sun slipped behind the pedernal. I laid my brushes down. Kiss the sky for me. The end. Georgia O'Keeffe lived to be 98 years old, and her work is in museums all across the land. People see her flowers, deserts, hills, cities, and skies the way she did. So she was a new type of artist, and she painted all the things around her, things in everyday life, and kind of brought them to life. And she used her creative spirit to showcase God's creation for all of us and all the things she experienced. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And if you really liked it, it's right here on our campus. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I hope you get out there into the far away and make your own creations, just like Georgia O'Keeffe did. Have a wonderful weekend. God bless you.